Welcome, all you folks. We're glad to have you with us this afternoon. This is Tuesday afternoon, February 23rd, 2021, and I'm Don Snow. I'm down here in St. George where it's nice and warm and the sun is out bright and shining. Um, Gerhard Roof is our host, and he's up in Orem, Utah, up in northern Utah, Utah County. And today we're going to be discussing searching your computer. This is part 3 of a 4-part series, and I'll show you more of the details of that later. Duplicate non-image files. How do you find the duplicates and what do you do with them? Because they clog up your hard drives. The notes are online. Down at the bottom across the screen there, and we'll talk more about those in a minute. And Gerhard usually makes a PDF of those and puts it in the chat box so that you can download that. But you can always just click on the link. He usually puts the link in the chat box as well. And if you're watching this on Facebook later on, there'll be that same link will work for my notes later on. Now, I want to put in a plug for before we start with our class, for Roots Tech Connect 2021. That's a big deal. It starts this Thursday, day after tomorrow, and it's broadcast. The main thing is from Salt Lake, but they've got something like over 1,000 classes. At last I heard it was 1,100 classes, and they're taught from all over the world. They're going to be taught in about 40 or 50 different languages. The English talks, the ones in English, are online now. Well, at least the titles are there. If you go to the rootstech.org, which is there at the bottom, you can register for it. It's completely free and it's online. And as of yesterday, they had over 400,000 people registered. They used to have, 20,000, 30,000 in person in the Salt Palace in Salt Lake. But this year, because of the COVID, they canceled the online thing or the in-person thing, and it's all online. And you'll find all kinds of classes there. It's going and they'll be online after the meeting. The meeting is this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the 25th, 6th, and 7th of February of 2021. And then after that, for the next about a year, all those classes will be available online for anybody to watch anytime. And it's going to be just a wonderful database with all kinds of good information in it. So if you haven't registered, go ahead and register for it. It's completely free, and they won't ask for a credit card or anything like that. And you'll be able to use the data and listen to the classes that you want. They're all on demand so that you can tell what you want. The one I recorded for them a couple of months ago, Gerhard helped me record it, is on our timelines. It's one we did for one of these classes. And it's on page 6 out of 18 pages of just the classes taught in English. And there must be 50 on each page. It's phenomenal what's going on. It's a wonderful program. Okay, anyway, that's a plug for Roots Tech. Starts this Thursday, day after tomorrow. The overview of the notes. Now, most of you are aware of my notes and that they're online and that there are that they're updated on a regular basis, and the links and to the past notes are on there, as well as videos and so on. Let me give you a quick overview of those in case you're brand new. And we may be having a couple of brand new people with us, though most of you have been with us before. This is my class notes page where that link takes you to. And on here, on the page are, well, first of all, up here at the top are some other pages that are sub-pages that are related to all of this. Then classes coming up. These are the ones that are planned for now. This is today. Number 1 is today, and I'll move that down. After today, I'll move that down to past classes on Searching Your Computer, Part 3. And then this week, the ourtimelines.com, that one showing lives in context, I called it. That's on Roots Tech, and there's a Roots Tech Connect link right there for you too. And then 1 week from today, not 2 weeks, but 1 week from today, on the 2nd of March, we'll be doing the 4th class in this series, Searching Your Computer, Part 4, on finding duplicate images. more details about that. And then there's another class in March. Here's the past classes and the links and so on. And there's the links to where you can find the videos of the past classes that we've done. They're both on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Okay, now the notes for today are these. If I've already opened the tab, but you can click on them from there, from that last page. Searching for duplicate non-image files. I was going to put this all in one, searching for all the duplicates, and then I thought, no, you need to do separate because of the non-image files are separate. There's an abstract about it. Here's the introduction, the information as to what's going on, and my email address, if any of you need to contact me, is on there, and it's on everywhere. It's on the links and all the notes and so on. This is the item 4 is the problem for today, how to find and eliminate duplicate non-image files on your computer. And then here's a little bit of a write-up about files on our computer. Now, in the past couple of days and the past couple of items, we've talked about, well, let me go back for a minute, back to our PowerPoint and show you what's going on. We're going to be talking more details about some of this, but there's thousands of files on your computer. You may be surprised at how many are on there. And the hard drives fill up, and as they get filled up, they slow down. If you've noticed your computer is slowing down, there are several reasons for slowdowns, but one of them is that the files are clogging up your hard drive, so there's not enough space on there. And the class series that we've been doing on this involves all these 4 different topics. The first part 1, we talked about by file name, finding files on your computer by the name. The second part was by file content, what's in them, regardless of the name. This one is the files that are non-image duplicates. And next week, we'll talk about file image non-duplicates, image duplicate. Today is non-image duplicates. So here's part 3 today. Now, there's several things we're going to be talking about, and we'll look at more details back in the notes here in a minute. But we're going to be talking about File Explorer. That's a program built into Windows. That shows you how much is on your computer in the different, what percent is free and so on. WinDirStat, I think that must be short for Windows Directory Statistics. But that's a free program, and there's a comparable one. For most of these programs, there's comparable ones that will do for Macs, if you're using a Mac. That will show you what's in there. And I just discovered yesterday in preparing for this, every time I teach a class, as you've heard me say before, I find new stuff that I need to worry about and take care of. I'll show you what that does. That shows you what's taking up the space on your computer. Everything, that's a program. And you've heard me talk about that many times. I'm going to show you a slick way that I discovered that you can use that to eliminate some duplicate files. And then Duplicate Cleaner Free, that's a program that we'll look at in more detail here in a minute. The last one, Auslogic's File Finder, we probably won't have time to talk about today, but the link is on your notes. And it's a way of, it's one that people seem to like, though it doesn't have the some of the power that the other one does. But again, it's free. Now, back on those notes, back on the files on your computer. There's thousands of files on there, and you get all kinds of duplicates because of various things, backups and copying things. And in my case, I copy a lot of files over to use for illustrations in classes. And when I do that, I forget to delete them later, or I rename them. It says class help for today. It's a duplicate file, but it's got a different name. And so I need to clean those off because they take up space on your computer. As always, item 7, consistent file naming, simplifies most of the file searches and for what's going on with them. And you've heard me talk before about, and it's on other class notes of the system that I use that I've worked out that helps me. On item 8, be sure that that your file extensions are showing on the files. That is the stuff, the last three digits, the .odt or .doc. That tells you immediately what kind of file it is. For some reason, Windows defaults to turn that off. And I find it really handy to have that turned on. And we've talked before, and you can find the details in part 1 of this series as to how to turn that on. On deleting files, be careful. If in doubt, don't delete it, because you're not sure what it is, or you may be deleting your only copy of something. They work faster when you have the more space on your hard drive, and I'll show you a way to check that here with items 10 and then 11 to show you. And then we're going to talk about how do you find how with this idea that I've worked out with everything, to program everything that gets rid of duplicate files if they have the same name. But of course, duplicate files don't always have the same name. And then there's here's the duplicate files with the same content and the same or different names. And so that's we'll do both of them. And so there's item 20 is this duplicate cleaner free that we're going to be talking about later. That Aus Logic duplicate file finder, that's item 21, and there's a link to how you can get that, but we probably won't have time, depending on how long I get. Most of you know I get long-winded when I teach these classes. Okay, so anyway, that gives you some ideas as to where we're going and what we're going to be doing. Let's go back over here to where is, let's see, well, let me start this thing again. And come on, I hit the 5. What? I guess I got to hit. There we go. And so now we've looked at the overview of the notes and all this stuff. And the part 1, we've looked at that, and we've talked about that. Okay, examples and demos. First demo I want to show you is about using to program everything and what you can do with that and how that works. Now let's see. Everything I've got. I got it open in here. No, I don't think I do. So I gotta get down here to right here. Oh, well, let's see. This isn't. Now I'll show you let me do a Windows D to get back in here so that I can click on file. I thought I had it open, but maybe I didn't. Okay, this is File Explorer, which is on your Windows. It's built in. I clicked on this PC. Now look at this. What you see here is there's a bunch of folders, and they set up these folders, and I don't usually use their folders. But this is the part I want to show you right here. Devices and drivers. I've got 3 in this particular computer. This is my desktop computer. I've got 3 hard drives. And they're called C. See, there's the C hard drive. Over here is the D hard drive, and over here is the E. The C hard drive, that's the one that it boots from. That's a solid state drive. It's a 1 terabyte. A terabyte is 1,000 bytes. And that's the fast one. And that one doesn't have moving parts. It's like a big flash drive. And so that's the one I boot from on there. Now, what this shows you is that I've got all this blue stuff, shows you that I've got that about probably 3/4 filled and only 1/4 of the way left over. Well, it says there, space free is 198 gigabytes. So it's about 20%, roughly 20%, 200 gigabytes free out of 1 terabyte. On my D drive, WDC, that's a Western Digital. I named them this so that I could tell what it was. That's a 2 terabyte, 2,000 gigabytes. That one has got 304 gigabytes free. Look at how filled up that one is. This one is a Seagate 2 terabyte. That's my E drive. And it's got, how much space has it got left? 500 gigabytes free. So that one's got about 1/4 of it free. So the first thing to do, at least to check, is use the Windows Explorer in Windows, and there's something comparable in Mac, to find out what's taken up. Well, how much space have you got, first of all? Okay, now the next question is, what's taken up the space? Now, that's the question that this WinDirStat program will take care of. Now, that's the one I've got running. It's free, and I've got it, let's see where we got it. Which one is Winterstat? Is that, it does, oh, it's this one right here. Now, this is running on my Seagate. You can run it, it's free, and you can run it on any one of the hard drives or all of them together. I said, I just want to see what's on my E drive. That's a 2 terabyte Seagate drive. So you can see up here, it says Seagate 2 terabyte E drive. Here's a list of everything that's under it. It took about 2 minutes to run this thing on that drive. It pulled out all the stuff, and it showed me over here everything that it finds with the different extensions on it. So on the WAV files, there's 35 gigabytes of stuff that's in WAV files. That's a sound file. MP4, that's a movie file. There's 43 gigabytes. PDFs, there's 61 gigabytes. I've sorted these things by the size over here. On the right, you can sort these by any column you want. And so you can go down here and check, like here's genealogy stuff. And as you click on it over on the left panel here, it shows you down below, this is what this is just a schematic of, it's not where stuff is stored, but it's the size of it. And so you can click on it, and as you click on something, it'll show you, it'll light up and show you what's there. So text files on my E drive, this thing that showed up with the white border around it, that's the space that these are taking up. Music and sound, there's not very much on there. Moved a bunch of it off. There's my journal. I thought that was taking up a lot, but it's really very small amounts. You look at some of these things like this big gray area here, and you wonder, well, what's that? Well, you click on it, and it tells you, oh, that's all free space. So there's that much free space on there. If you click on some of these others, it indicates what is up here as to what's there. Sync notebooks. That was some stuff from my Evernote file, and so on. So you can go through and see what's taken up the space on your hard drive and what you really need to clean up. Now, I've been concerned about how many duplicate files I've got of HTML files from this stuff, but they're almost insignificant. Look at over here as I get this thing sorted. Let me sort this thing with the top. Now this is, see, I clicked on that number of bytes up here. So there's of movies, there are almost 500 gigabytes. Now, if I click on that, all this, now I don't know what I've got stored on movies here. I got a couple of old jazz movies with Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald that I stored from years ago. They're probably available on Internet Archive, so I could probably delete those, but I need to look at them. But look at this second item here. CR2 files, there's almost 200 gigabytes of CR2 files, all this stuff. Now, I didn't have any idea what a CR2 file is. Maybe some of you do, but I used my Evernote or Everything program and typed it in. It turns out that those are files. They're all camera files, and there's nearly 200 gigabytes of them, and I don't even know who those people are. I think it must have been a kid, one of my kids or my grandkid, that was using my computer one time to store their stuff and to move it over there, and I don't even recognize the pictures as to who they are. I don't dare delete them because it may be the only backup that the kids have when they put them on my computer. But there's nearly 200 gigabytes of stuff that's being stored on my computer that I wasn't aware of, that belongs to probably one of my kids. I went through them, and there's a couple of twins on there. It shows them getting their high school diplomas and getting their Eagle Scout awards. And I can actually read their names on there because they're holding up their graduation diplomas from high school. They're dressed in red. I don't know where I need to go back and see if I can figure out on the high school, where is that high school? And that may clue me in as to who belongs to these pictures. But I could probably delete all those, and there's 200 gigabytes that I could get rid of. I didn't even know it was on there until yesterday when I was, yeah.
CR2 files are files created by a Canon digital camera.
That's what I discovered. And I did that. I found that out by using Everything and typing in, find all the .cr2 files on there. And these thousands of files come up. And I started looking at these pictures, and I don't know who the people are. so so their Canon, I looked into metadata, they were taken in 2014. And so it's probably one of my kids was using my computer to store their stuff or something. I don't know. But anyway, before I delete them, I got to make sure that they're not the only copies that somebody has. But that's what you find out when you start looking. There's a bunch of JPEGs here. These are probably most of mine because my camera does JPEGs for its far. Here's a bunch of MP3. Anyway, you see the idea. This program, Windorstat, is very helpful, and it's free. Windows Directory Statistics, I think, is what it stands for. Anyway, that's a lead into how do you get rid of some of this stuff. Now, let me show you. Let me find. Let's see. Where is? That's the program we're going to talk about here in a minute. I want to go to. Well, let's see. I think I can get to it from here. Let me move this back over to cover up that for a little bit, and go down here to let's see. Let me run Evernote. Not Evernote. Everything. Okay, here's everything. I'm going to run everything on here. Now, what I'm going to need is over here on the right side. I guess I'm going to have to get out of my. I'm going to have to escape from some of this stuff. Let me close that, and I'll come back to this later. I'll minimize that. I need to get access over on the right side. Now that we're done with that, I can close that. I need to get access over here to the right side of the my screen so that you can see what I'm doing. Now, what I've got over here on the right side of the screen, let me open this stuff so it'll cover up some of this other junk so you won't be distracted with all that. This is the program Everything, which you've heard me talk about on here at great length because it is so handy with some things. I've set up a file folder out here, just a separate folder that I called it Folder for Dupes. There's nothing in it right now. Now, Everything, remember that what Everything does, it's a free program, and it will find all of the files anywhere on your computer with any of the characters that you type in. As an example, I'm going to type in .esl. Now, most of you think of ESL, and I usually do, as English as a second language. But we used it back in the days when we had short titles for Erastus Snow letters. And so that was our code. And so all of these things are Erastus Snow letters. The whole family did a collection of all the letters that we could find from Erastus. And we put them all in here with all this different kinds of stuff. We typed them in, and there's duplicate copies galore because I said backups and so on. Now watch what happens. What I'm going to use this Everything for, I'm going to scroll down here. I clicked at the top. I'm going to scroll down here a ways, any place down in here. Okay, now there's all there. Now I'm going to drag those over, and I'm going to drop those into, though actually I'm only going to copy them. If I were doing this for real, I would, to really get rid of it and not just illustrate it, I would move them over there. But right now, I'm afraid I might do something that I'm not thinking of with that, unless I do it. Did I get them over there? Let's see if yeah, well, I did get them over there, but I didn't, but it's not, I wanted to get some duplicates, and none of those were duplicates. So, okay, so I gotta pick up some more here. Let's, because I want to make sure that I get some duplicates to show you how to get rid of the duplicates on there by using this. Let's see, I hold down the Shift key and click down here. There's a bunch of them. Okay, drag them over and drop them in there. I'll copy them in, and if I were doing this for real, I would move them over there, but I'll just copy them for now. Well, I didn't get any more duplicates, and I should be getting bunches of duplicates. So I gotta, because this isn't illustrating what I want to show you. And I wonder if I had deleted too many of them in practicing here to actually show you what I'm doing. What it does is it stops. Where's my, I can't even see my arrow over there. There it is. Copy here. Well, copying doesn't, I guess it won't do it without me actually trying to move them. When you move them over there, if it comes to a duplicate that's already over there with the same name, it says there's already a file here by that name. What do you want to do? And in my case, when I move those over there, I click and say, I want to check those individually. And you take a look and see if it's the same file by looking at the size and the dates and all. And if it's the same file, I only keep one. If it's not, I delete it and don't copy the thing over. So it immediately gets rid of, and I was going to illustrate that, how that got rid of them. Probably what's happening is when I copy them over there, it's just renaming it. So there's a bunch of duplicates over there with bunches of names, but we'll illustrate that in a little bit. But it helps in getting rid of a lot of duplicates to just use this everything, because that finds files that have the same name and the same content. So, but you have to look for the content as it goes down, because when it finds a file with the same name, it says, what do you want me to do? And you have your option of deleting one or saving both, or just only saving one. So anyway, that's a way of doing that. Now, that's using everything. Now, I'm going to close out of that. This is the program, this duplicate that I wanted to show you, that will work for finding duplicates with, it says already running. Yeah, it's down here at the bottom. There it is. Let's see. Okay. Here it is. Okay, so this is the program that it's free, called Duplicate Cleaner Free. They got a pro version, and of course they'd like you to upgrade to the pro version that has additional features, but this one is good enough for most of what I need. Now, this is the program. The link's on the notes there. First thing you do is you do the scan location. You see up here in the top, there's the search criteria, and I've already set that the way I wanted. Here's the scan location. And then we're going to see some duplicate files here. There's no duplicates yet because I haven't got anything. Scan location. Okay, I'm going to click on that. Okay, now here's the, scan location. Okay, here's the desktop. Now that file folder that we were looking at is called File for Dupes. Here it is. I'll say, okay, now there's a bunch of copies over there. So I highlight that and see these arrows down here in the middle. One arrow points that way and one points this way. I'll click that. So now it's over here. So now it's going to search just that folder. Now you could start this on your whole hard drive, but it will take forever because there's so many different files. So start small on a smaller folder on the things. There should be a bunch of duplicates in there because of the different names and so on. Once you set the criterion, and that's what I've done over here in the search criterion, and the search location is all set now. Now then, right in here is start the search, start the scan. Okay, I clicked on that. Okay, now it went through pretty fast. And here's the details as to what it found. Now I'll close that because I don't want to show you that. But look at all this stuff. These bars in the different things show that there are 3 files in that folder over there, that one that I just copied over there. 3 files that are exactly the same. That's group 1. Here's group 2. They're all the same. There's 2 files in some of these, 3 files in most of them. And look at how many of these things there are because I copied those over. It found in that length of time all these duplicates. And so they're in blocks. There's 4 copies of the same thing there. Now, one of the things I really like about this program is what's over here on the left side, and we're running out of time here, so I gotta hurry up. This panel over here has all these different criterion for marking them. You can always go through and you see these little boxes in front. You can always put checks in there as to which ones you want to save and which ones to delete. Whatever you check, then when you delete it, when you hit File, Remove up here, it's going to take those out. So if you want to go through and say, I only want to save one of these, like maybe this copy of that, you put a check there and then you go through and check the ones you want to save, and then go over here to the left side and invert the selection. See where it says invert the marked files? That will uncheck the one you checked and mark everything else. And then when you do the file removal, everything else goes and you're left with just the few. But what I like about this thing is it's got all these options that are down here. Look at all this stuff, ways to mark these. You can mark all, you can let it pick everything except one file in each group. Or you can mark all but one in the same group in the folder, or only one file in each group. Or you can do the newest one or the oldest one, or you can mark the newest file in each group, the oldest file in each group, and that sounds like the same thing, or the oldest and the newest, or the shortest name, or all these different sorts of things. And if you've got 80 or 90 different selection places over here, some of these things really help in order to simplify the process. Now, I usually try and keep one of the longest names, because some of these, you'll see that some of them we named like 88 instead of 1888 for the letters for Erastus. Well, there's no instances on here of this, so I'll just use one of these simple things. Over here, I'll say, okay, mark everything, mark all the oldest files in each group. Okay, now it automatically put checks in the oldest files. And so what it left was one file, that's the newest one. Happens to say copy on this thing, this particular one, but it's got the date and ESL and the names. Sometimes I use the longest name because they're the ones that I've actually taken time to actually write in there as to what it was. Now, before you do the file deletions, let me show you, well, let me, now see there's one that's not marked, but let me mark a couple of these, put an extra, there's a click. Now look, everything in that group is marked. This is what's dangerous. If you put mark everyone, everyone in a group and you don't notice it. But this has a thing on here up near the top of this, the check, and I've used this several times. Where is it? Groups with all files marked. Oh, look, it says that you marked group 10. You marked everything in group 10. Click on it. There's group 10. Okay, I'll save this one that doesn't have copy in it. So I'll get rid of, well, I'll get rid of that one. I'll save that one that doesn't have the word copy. Okay, now I'll go back to groups with all files marked. That one's out of there. Here's another one that I marked all of them in. I will keep that file. And now here's this is really helpful. This has saved my bacon several times where I've inadvertently marked all the files and not known it. And before I did, I checked, and sure enough, it had, now I'm okay. I got them all marked. So whoops, is that one still? Yeah, okay, that's what was left over. It's no longer marked. Now I'm sure I'm not going to lose all files of any one of these duplicate groups. Now you check up here on file removal. Now remember, we found a bunch of them. There were, I don't know how many groups in this thing, but bunches of groups. Look, we did 150 files, duplicates, 155 it says. Click over here, and it's that's on file removal. It says, what do you want to do? You want to delete these? And I got to put a check in. I've already put a check in. Delete these files to the recycle bin, the non-zipped ones, so they're not the compressed ones. And I'm going to click delete. And it says, you're about to delete 83 files. Are you sure? Yes. Okay, they're gone. Well, it's still working. Now they're gone. 83 files have been deleted. Okay. Okay. All right. Now what's over here in that particular folder are no duplicates because of what I did on this program. Very helpful program and completely free. They'd like you to buy the pro version, but this free version, and I don't know what features are in there that are not in this one, but I find this really helpful. So now if you look at what's in that file, in that folder over there, there won't be any duplicates at all on it. Now, again, don't try and do everything on your hard drive at once. It's not all that important, but find the big files and the ones that are going to get rid of that will give you more space on there. Okay, now let's go back to the notes, and I think we're getting out of time here. Whoops, let me get back to, come on. Oh, I'm holding on the wrong key to get into here. Here's the notes. Okay, that was what we looked at was this duplicate files the same way. That was the everything thing. And then duplicate files with the same content. We went through this item 20, the duplicate cleaner free thing. Now, I won't take time to go through this item 21, the Auslogic's duplicate file finder. People seem to like it, and it gets recommended, but it doesn't have near the selection things. You can always do them by hand by checking in the boxes. But if you've got 80 or 90 files or groups, it's a pain to do it. The Glary Utilities has also a simplified version in there. We'll talk more about that program at another time, so we won't take time to discuss that one today. So that takes care of, let me go back over here to get back to this and do let's see, a Shift F5 to start with that. This is what we've talked about. We looked at computer files and the space they take up, and your hard drives your whole computer runs faster if there's more space on there. Today we've looked at duplicate non-image files. Next week, a week from today, we're going to look at image files. And we did use the everything program, so that didn't illustrate very much because you didn't see what I wanted you to see. And then the duplicate cleaner free, and then we didn't talk about the Auslogic file cleaner. Have you got any questions or comments that you want to ask? And if you have, just unmute your mic, or if you're on a Windows PC, just hold down the Shift key and that'll unmute your mic. Anybody got any comments?
Julie has unmuted herself.
Okay. Go ahead. Hold down the Shift key and that'll do it.
Julie is unmuted.
Oh, okay. Now I don't know whether the Shift key will work on she's on a Mac, and I don't know whether that's will work on a Mac, the Shift key. Maybe it will. You might have to just uncheck the mute microphone thing to work on a Mac. I'm not sure. We're not hearing anything.
I have one comment from Facebook, Don.
Okay.
They it's a little off topic. They would like to know what they can do on their phone to do something similar. Basically, I told them that where you go to settings and you look at the memory usage, just search for memory usage, and it'll tell you how much of your memory you're using. That'll alert you as to what to do.
But how do you get rid of the stuff? I don't know how to do that on a phone.
The other way, that usually when you're in there, you can see in files. You go to files and you can see the folders and everything that you've saved. Most people end up using their phones as cameras, and so that's where most of the usage ends up being.
Yeah.
And so you have to periodically go in and clean out your photos that you don't want anymore.
Yeah, or copy them, put them into Dropbox and move them over to your hard drive on your computer.
That's what I do on mine. My photos in my phone automatically get moved into my Dropbox account, so I can delete them off of my phone easily, and they're still in my Dropbox. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. Did Julie ever get her mic going so that she could ask her question, or is it in the chat?
Her mic is unmuted, but we haven't heard her say anything.
Oh, okay.
Questions. I'm just going to have to see which of these programs will work on a Mac.
Yeah, she uses a Mac, so you are going to have to see. There's probably something comparable for each of these. And I did notice as I was looking at one, I think it particularly that the last one that we looked at, that file cleaner or something. I think they had both a Mac and a version right down at the bottom. It listed, what do you want? Do you want the Windows or the Mac version?
Okay, great. I'll look at that.
We
But
have Ruth Harmon on Facebook saying thank you for these presentations.
oh, good. Okay, thanks, Ruth. Appreciate it. All right. Any other comments, or are we about ready to finish up?
Thank you very much, Dawn.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, good. All right. Okay. Well, anyway, that's the story. Part 3 of duplicate non-image files. And next week, 7 days from now, in Spanish, they call it 8 days. Hoy en ocho. But it's 1 week from today, we'll be doing the part 4 on this. And don't forget Roots Tech this week. There is so much good stuff on there that's going to be available. That's a major database for the next year. They're going to keep this stuff online free. And so you can use it anytime. Okay, thanks all you people. Appreciate you watching.